Right. It's so crazy. So you said, you want to see them get to the promised land. I have this movement that I'm spearheading, I guess, called the mass exodus movement.
Yep.
It's like
Typical
getting,
Exodus. Yep.
it's about getting kids into better learning environments, getting them out of
Yep.
public schools if that public school is not working for them. And like we were talking about before, there's so many kids that aren't getting what they need in traditional public schools. And
Yep.
so, opening that up, I just thought about that. I was like, oh, that's funny. Exodus, promised land,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
it's
Absolutely.
connection. But that's really interesting. Conflict corn. I think a lot of kids, especially now with COVID and then this isolation, and I mean, just like, crazy home environments,
Mhm.
crazy neighborhoods, all kinds of things that kids are dealing with, and they don't have a person that they trust
Mhm.
to talk with these things about. And a lot of
Yep.
kids suffer in silence. They don't, sometimes they don't even know how to express these things. They know, like, okay, something's wrong here, but I don't even know what to do with all these feelings. I don't know what to I know something's wrong, but I don't even have words to put to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so that's really important for kids to have somebody to talk to. A lot of times we want to throw up a basketball court, or, we want to throw up, some new football field or something, but
Yep.
sometimes you just need somebody to talk to, you
Yeah,
know
people always try to throw it into, oh, they just need things to do. We need more basketball teams and football. I'm like, that's cool and fine. Yes, that helps. I promise it does. However, a lot of these kids need mindset changing. I say that all the time. I'm just like, you can have a 10 basketball courts, but if they don't have any mindset changing, then they're just going to beat each other and shoot each other at the basketball court. I'm like, because they aren't taught, a lot of things, because a lot of kids don't know how to lose. The kids be shooting each other by basketball. They shoot each other just over some dumb, and because they haven't been taught, how to control
Yeah.
their emotions,
Yeah.
etc. Like they need real mindset changing, not just something to do, but they need some true teaching. That's why I believe in the boarding school so
Oh,
much, because I have to take them away from their environments and really, really mold them. That's
yes.
the only way I can do it. And if I try
Oh
to
my god.
not have a boarding school and I just do a regular school, every day they go back home, they're going to
Right.
unlearn everything every time and go back to that environment
Right.
every single time.
That is so, oh my God. I feel like I could shout right now. Like I feel like you taking me to church. It's hard for me to sit here and contain myself. I feel like the mother on the front pew rocking
Yep.
back and forth, because that is so important. That is why, I talk about critical race theory a lot.
Mhm.
I talk about the queer theory that we're finding in schools.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, it is the mentality that you are putting into the kids that's the thing that disturbs me the most. If
Yeah.
you are telling these kids that because they are black, or because they are a girl, or because they are what you name, you put whatever, fill in the blank, that
Mhm.
that is going to be the impediment of their success.
Mhm.
That's what drives me crazy. That is the thing that gets me so upset, because I don't care if you read any person who
Mhm.
has succeeded. It is a mindset. I don't it is,
Yep.
if you do X, you will get Y. It is
Mhm.
because it's a mindset that will propel these kids or keep them where they're at.
Mhm.
That is the ugh, that the mindset piece is a thing that I don't think it's talked about it enough. And it's hard to fit, I do media and stuff, but it's hard to fit all that into, like, you get, 'cause you do media
Yep.
too, you get these 2 minutes, or not even sometimes, to
Mhm.
express these broad points. But it's like, when you are telling a kid, when you boil critical race theory down, at the end of the day, when you just boil all this jargon mumbo jumbo down, if you're white, you're an oppressor. If you're black, you're oppressed. That is a mindset that you are trying to instill into people,
Mhm.
into
Yep.
children. And
And
you,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you expect for that mindset to bring forth good fruit,
Mhm.
I like, where is your mindset to think that this kid is going to be hearing this stuff, either what, white, black, red, I don't care what color you are. If you are being put, if this label is being put on you and it is beat into your head every day, I am I hate to see what we will create as
Yeah.
a generation if
Mhm.
with these kids who have this kind of thinking.
Absolutely. Well, the scripture teaches us that as a man thinketh, so is he. So our
Amen.
communities bear witness to the thinking that's in the minds of our children, our men, and our women. So that's
Yes.
why I say a mindset changing has to happen. And the only way that's going to happen is if we teach the babies. I say that all the time. We have to take the babies and teach them. It's and even working on adults, but mainly the real change is going to happen with the babies. Because I have also where I have the program trying to teach the mothers as well. We have things that we have the mothers to do. We have things that they have to, try and do, such as exercising and having conversations, etc.
Yeah.
Business training or whatever. But I have to build mothers
Wait
too.
a minute. I gotta stop you right there. So tell me what it is like when you are telling mothers, ma'am, I'm gonna need you to work out.
Oh man, well, I just had this conversation at our parent meeting the other day. But they know me to be extremely real, and they love what I do for their boys. But I was telling them, the boys about to start working out too, because a lot of them are overweight. I was just being blunt, and a lot of their moms are overweight.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's going to be a big part of the program. I want you guys to start going walking, and I'll have all y'all in the group. We'll have parent night out, have a little paint and sip party or whatever. Like y'all
Yeah.
can just communicate, get your talk to each other and stuff, communicate
Right.
with each other. I want it to be a big family. I said, but on top of that, I want to make sure health is an important thing because in Albany we're number 14 in the United States for hypertension. We got like six
Oh,
dialysis clinics. Like we a city like Houston, and we only got 77,000 people there. So it's a lot going on, in the city of Albany. But I'm like, we could fix it ourselves, but we have to make sure we want to fix it. And if you want
right.
your child to continue getting this teaching, you got to do some things too. You got to do some business training. You got
So
to.
so what's the response? Are they on board? Are they like, excuse me, what did you just say to
No,
me?
most of all the parents respect me because of what I do for their boys.
Good.
I don't really have any issue out of them, in regards to me saying something, especially if I'm saying it out of love. I don't,
Absolutely.
aggravate them. I don't say anything bad to them. Only time
Yeah.
I have to get on to them is like sometimes I have a problem with their consistency with bringing the kids, to the different events or whatever because
Gotcha.
we have other parents that are willing to carpool. You could call us and tell us if you have an issue getting him somewhere, etc. But
Yeah.
also, if I haven't seen him in like 3 months, and then you want to call me and say, "Oh, he's having issues with this," he's doing this and that. I'm like, "Well, Mama, where he been at? I hadn't seen him in a while. He was doing
Right.
fine while he was with me, and he's gone now. Well, I
Right.
just I've been working, but I'm like, you didn't tell me that. Like, you have to
Right.
communicate with me.
Yeah.
Even with some of their extracurriculars, I have to discipline their parents on what they're allowing them to do as far as extracurriculars. Like,
Yeah.
for example, one of my kids, he's the best speed skater in town. He's probably the fastest kid, in South Georgia with speed skating.
Wow.
However, his mom, almost forces him to spend a lot of time in band because she couldn't afford to pay for the speed skating fees. And I
Uh,
was like, well, why didn't y'all say anything? We have a lot of people that like sponsoring the kids, etc. I'm like,
yeah.
band is not going to pay off for him. I'm like, he's going to pay off in speed skating. He can go to the Olympics.
Yes.
They want him on the team in the city or whatever. So I went and bought his speed skates. I went in and I paid for his monthly fees. But I was like, you have to tell me stuff. I'm like,
Right.
this is what you have to do. You have to invest in
Yeah.
something that's going to be worthwhile for them. I'm like, band is not going to do it for him. He's not the best band player, etc. Or even
Right.
my younger brother's like 6'2", right? Everybody
Mhm.
wanted him to play basketball because he's so tall.
Right.
I'm 5'7". He and I have different moms. His mom is like 6 feet tall, so that's why he's so
Okay.
tall. But
Yeah.
but yeah, everybody, oh, he need to play basketball. So he played basketball. He was all right. But like I told him, I was like, is this what you want to do? Because you're not good enough or great enough to try to make it to that next level. He was like, "That's not
Right.
even what I want to do." He got in band, fell in love with the trombone, and he the best trombone player at school.
Wow.
He's going to go to college on scholarship for playing the trombone. But
Blessed
so
Jesus.
you
I
gotta
love it.
push them where they need to go. I took him out of basketball. I'm like, he's not playing basketball. He don't want to play basketball. I don't care if
Right.
he's tall. Just because you're tall and big black kid don't mean you got to play sports.
Right?
I'm
Ain't
like,
that's the
yeah,
model, ain't
yeah,
it?
that's the model. So I'm just like, stop asking him if he played football, if he played basketball. No, he plays the trombone. He's really good at it.
Right.
That's
Right.
what he wants
And
to do.
maybe he'll play for an orchestra one day. He'll,
Yeah, and get
God
paid.
only knows.
Yep,
Sky's the limit. Maybe he'll live,
exactly,
there are
exactly.
other things to do.